Have you ever felt like getting stronger after 50 sounds great in theory, but real life gets in the way all the time? Maybe your days are packed. Maybe you're caring for your family. Maybe work drains your energy so that at the end you have nothing left. Or maybe the thought of spending an hour and a half in the gym with everything else, it just feels impossible. Can you relate? Here's the good news. You don't have to have a marathon workout to build strength after 50. In fact, one of the biggest mistakes people make is believing that effective training has to be long, exhausting, and complicated. Now, as a 70-year-old lifter and a personal fitness trainer who's been in the field for over 2 decades, I can tell you this. Some of the smartest and most sustainable training strategies are also the simplest. So today, I'm going to share with you the smartest way to strength train when time is limited. And honestly, these are some of the exact strategies I use myself, because consistency beats perfection every single time. So let's talk about 5, maybe 6 different ways to train smarter, not longer, after 50. Strategy number 1, shift from more to smarter in this season of life. One of the biggest mindset shifts after 50 is understanding that more is not always better. I know we hear that all the time, but really let that sink in because it's true. When we were younger, we could get away with high volume, constant, intense workouts, longer gym sessions, poor recovery. After 50, that's not gonna fly. Your body responds better to strategic stress. Stress, yes. Strategic is the key word there. That means fewer junky workouts with no strategy, more focused sessions with intention, and better recovery between sets, after your workout, and overnight. All of it counts. You don't need to annihilate yourself in the gym. You need to send a clear message to your body that says, keep this muscle, keep this strength, keep this function. And it has to be in that Goldilocks zone where it's enough of a signal that it's loud enough for your body to pick it up, but not so much so that it kind of shuts you down. This can happen in surprisingly short workouts if they're done intelligently. And honestly, many people overtrain and under-recover. That's more the dynamic I see in my own observations, especially when life stress is already high enough. Sometimes shorter workouts actually produce better results because your body can recover from them consistently, so you can keep coming back without a 2 or 3 day delay because you're just too sore. So that's the strategy of moving from more to more focus. The second strategy, prioritize compound movements. If you only have 20 or 30 minutes, compound movements are so smart because you get a lot of activation all over your body. You cannot afford to waste time on exercises that only train tiny, isolated muscles one at a time. That's for a workout when you have luxury of time. This is where compound movements become your best friend. Compound exercises train everything at once. And that little benefit too of it trains your muscles to work together the way they normally do anyway. So there's better coordination and communication between different parts of the movement chain. So compound movements, some examples are things like squats, rows, presses, deadlift variations, step-ups, push-ups, carries. These are movements that give you the biggest return on your investment. Think of them as multitasking exercises instead of spending 10 minutes on triceps, for example, or just 10 minutes on your shoulders or just on your chest. When a pressing movement hits all 3 of those areas, and you can really nail everything. And after 50, functionality really starts to matter. We need to be able to get up off the floor, carry groceries, climb stairs, maintain our independence. preserve posture, and stay resilient. This is one reason strength training is so important for healthy longevity. We're not just training muscles, we're training capability. Okay, strategy number 3, use the minimum effective dose approach. This concept is incredibly important. The minimum effective dose means doing enough to stimulate results, you're sending that signal, and yet it is not doing more than is necessary. And honestly, this strategy can be so liberating because many people think, if I can't do the perfect workout, why bother? I don't have enough time. But the body still responds to 20 minutes, 2 sets, a few really hard efforts. Consistent practice, especially when repeated week after week after week. I would rather see someone strength train 25 minutes consistently 3 times a week than one giant blowout heroic workout every 10 days and then feel wrecked afterwards. Consistency builds momentum. And here's another important point with that. After 50, recovery becomes part of the training equation, not the training equation and then, oh yeah, with this extra time, you should probably rest. No, it's part of the whole routine. So you must also manage, if you want to see progress, sleep, hormonal balance, life stress. Be aware of it, manage it. Inflammation, work demands, emotional stress. That's a long list. So smarter training often means leave a little left in the tank. You want to keep in mind that you want to finish many of your workouts feeling energized, not destroyed. That was for your 30-year-old warrior self. Strategy number 4, make your workouts frictionless. This one is huge. The harder your workouts are to begin, the less likely you are going to stay consistent. You know, human nature. We've all done it. I've done it. That's too much. I'll wait. I'm a little tired. Maybe tomorrow. So remove the friction. That means working out at home if it's too crazy to get through traffic at that time of day to your favorite gym. Keep dumbbells visible somewhere in your office, your home area, so that they're kind of like there in your peripheral vision. Use resistance bands. When you travel, they pack light and easy. Have a simple workout routine ready. I have a simple little workout that I give to my business traveler clients, and it's all with like stick figures showing the different exercises. Not that they need them by now because they're trained, but it makes them laugh. Wear your workout clothes early. Put them on when you get up, even if you're not going to be working out for a couple of hours. Have them already on. Shortening the transition time. And my favorite is every night, part of my bedtime routine is I choose my gym clothes and lay them out the night before so that when I get out of the shower and get dressed, there they are. And that's what I put on. It's, I don't have to make a decision about, which leggings do I want to wear today? It's all ready. So there's no friction. And here's a little side note to that I found really valuable. One of the smartest things busy people can do is stop making fitness an event, like it's something you're building up to. So it has all this pressure building up around it. Just make it part of your life rhythm. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to the gym, stop at the grocery store, so that it's not this big puffed up thing. Because after 50, sustainability matters more than intensity spikes. You do not need fancy equipment, the perfect gym, the ideal conditions. You also don't need 2 uninterrupted hours. That's almost possible nowadays. You need repeatability. So frictionless is the way to go. Sometimes a 20-minute workout done faithfully for years is more powerful than extreme efforts and a big break because you don't have time, and then finally getting back to it, getting sore all over again. I mean, psychologically, shorter workouts lower your resistance. So I'm not telling everybody to work out less time, but if you're going through a passage in your life where you're feeling the push, you're feeling the squeeze of not having enough time, then for a little while, get the 20-minute workout in. Keep going, keep showing up, because that's going to go down the road a lot farther than holding off because you just don't have that 2-hour space to drive to the gym, do your workout, and drive home. A small mental shift really helps to change adherence. And strategy number 5 kind of dovetails with that, because focusing on training quality, not just time. So not just 20 minutes, 90 minutes, 75 minutes, but what is the quality of what you're doing while you're there? There is, this is where maturity can actually become an advantage. Because when you're younger, you rely on endless energy, rubber and magic, right? You could do anything and survive. Momentum was an easier thing. Intensity, without the higher cost that it has when we're over 50. But now you often become more intentional because of your maturity. And intentional training can be extremely effective. If you slow down your reps, check and improve your form, create muscle tension that you can really feel, control the movement, both the positive and the negative movement, so you're not slamming it at the bottom. And eliminating distractions. And I'm talking about the screens, you guys. People don't realize how long they rest between sets. 1 to 1.5 minutes is just right. But if you start scrolling, it turns into 5 very quickly. And then you kind of lose that heightened readiness for the next bout. You can get tremendous training effect in less time if you keep the ball rolling with the 1 to 2 minute break in between. If you're really gassed out, let yourself recover and then keep going and get it done. Do the scrolling later. Sometimes people spend 90 minutes in the gym, but they're really only training 25 of those minutes. You know what I'm talking about. If you're not one of them, you see them all the time. Quality matters. Focus matters. Execution matters. You don't need to rush. You need to engage that muscle. And honestly, learning to train with precision is one of the smartest things we can do as we age. You don't have time to waste, so don't waste it there. And, this just came into my head, so I'm going to tell you. If you get annoyed with someone who's texting on a piece of equipment that you're waiting to use, and they are just oblivious of you standing there like, what I do sometimes is I'll go by the person and I'll say, hey, no squatting in the texting rack. And they're like, what? Yeah, we don't want to squat there. Go ahead. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. So it's funny rather than like being rude or something. And it kind of, I don't know, gives them a little metaphorical kick in the pants to get moving. I've got things to do. So no squatting in the texting rack. At the beginning of this video, I said 5 or maybe 6, because usually once I start talking to you about my ideas about what can help you, I usually think of one more thing. And I did. So strategy number 6, stop thinking all or nothing. This mindset destroys consistency. People think, if I can't do my full routine, then I've failed and it's not worth it. And I don't feel good about it. No, short workouts count. Strategic movement, being efficient with your compound movements, that counts. A walk in the park counts when you really just need to de-stress more than anything else. 2 exercises count if you can only do 2. 10 focused minutes count. Momentum matters. And one of the secrets to long-term vitality is refusing to disappear from your habits just because life got busy. If the habit you've established is good, worthwhile, supportive of healthy aging, and you fall off the wagon, just get up and get back on. Don't deride yourself. Don't criticize yourself. Just like, yeah, you kind of okay, let's go, buddy, and get back going again. Don't waste a lot of energy on self-criticism. Use it for self-correction. Perfection is not the goal. Longevity is the goal. So if you're over 50 and you're struggling to find time to strength train, here's what I want you to remember above all. You do not need endless, mindless workouts to become stronger. You need consistency, recovery, smart exercise selection. Go with compound movements if you're really crunched for time. Use focused effort and sustainable habits. Keep moving. This is not about punishment. It's about building a body that supports your life, a body you can love, a body that stays capable, stable, strong, resilient. And honestly, some of the strongest people I know are not the ones spending 2 hours a day in the gym. They're the people who learned how to stay consistent year after year after year. I see them in the gym now, 78 years old. I've seen them there for 12 years. They come every week. They get in there. They do their little socializing and they go, okay, got to get to work. And they're out there just boom, 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 boom. And they knock it out. That is like a generic description of what I see of a winner in that space. And this is where transformation happens. If this video encouraged you, let me know in the comments. What is your biggest obstacle to strength training consistently after 50? Tell me what your biggest challenge is in getting those workouts in. And if you enjoy practical strategies for healthy aging, strength, and longevity, make sure you subscribe because we've got a lot more coming. And remember, aging is inevitable. Becoming frail is optional.